Wow. Wow. I feel like it's been forever since I've done one of these, and I don't actually remember when I last did one. Um, but it's Stardew cooking time, and I forgot to pull up my document. Hello, it's Stardew Valley cooking time. I'm making all of the recipes that you can cook in Stardew Valley. Rules. Gotta use all of the ingredients listed in the game. Two, I can add any other ingredients as long as they're not available in Stardew. If they are available, can't use them unless they're explicitly listed in this recipe. As much as possible, create the recipes myself. Four, as much as possible, use sort of fancy ingredients. I don't really have that for this one. I don't think there were any. I guess I could have technically gotten like farmers market mushrooms, but I didn't. Five, as much as possible, take inspiration from the in-game images and descriptions. Six, as much as possible, try to make them actually tasty, even if they're not necessarily pitched as it. Rule seven, have fun. I'm making Kha Soup. This is a soup that I make. I was about to say on the reg. It's actually kind of been a minute since I've made it. But I have made Kha Soup before. Usually I do it with just tofu. And the Stardew one calls for shrimp, and I will be doing both. That is not the Stardew Valley wiki page. This is Kha Soup. These flavors are incredible. Uh, the ingredients are coconut, shrimp, and common mushroom. Um, Now, things that are not included, ginger, which normally would go in Tomka soup. So I'm just gonna leave that out. I couldn't come up with a substitute that fits my rules. I do kind of have a way around the fact that there's no garlic in it, which I will get to. I did like take a look at my usual Tomka soup recipe, but I'm not gonna like specifically follow it. I'm gonna kind of just wing it because it is pretty easy. I kind of just like looked to be like, are there any ingredients that I usually put in it that I'm forgetting? But there's not. Um, Now I quite foolishly forgot. Ooh, I'm getting water all over the place. I quite foolishly forgot to start thawing the shrimp and pressing the tofu before I went on a bike ride after work. So those are happening now. I'm going to change out the water that I'm thawing the shrimp with because it got cold. Um, Shrimp is priority one, so I'm gonna cook that first. Um, um, okay, so my plan is cook the shrimp in the pot that I'm using, take it out, do the rest of the soup, and then while it's simmering, put the shrimp back in. Um, I think typically you would just put the shrimp and let them cook in the broth while it's going, but I am not gonna do that. Because I like when I make like a soup that has something in it, I like to kind of brown whatever the like vegetable or meat or whatever it is, or in my case fish or like tofu, uh in the pot and then do everything else so that you get some like caramelization and stuff. Um Now let's see. Yeah, I don't have any way of getting sort of ginger flavor without using ginger. Unless I like added like powdered ginger like from my spice cabinet. But that feels a little bit too close to being ginger, and also I feel like wouldn't dissolve very well and probably wouldn't be a very strong flavor. So I don't know if that's really worth compromising it. The substitution I have for garlic is that I'm going to use chili garlic sticks. because this is basically sriracha with garlic in it. But it is a thing that I bought prepackaged like this, and so that feels in line with like the fact that I haven't counted hot sauce as a hot pepper. Um, they don't have chili garlic sauce in Stardew, so I'm gonna say that counts. My usual recipe calls for actual garlic plus chili garlic sauce, so it'll still be less garlicky than usual, but I can live with that. Um, and Stardew Valley says coconut. I'm using coconut milk. I am making the executive decision that coconut milk counts as coconut in this challenge, which will come up again for coconut sticky rice, and I don't know, or maybe it's the like, it's mango sticky rice. It's mango sticky rice that's like coconut rice mango. I'm excited for that one. Maybe I'll make that this weekend. I feel like my sister would like it, and I'm gonna be hanging out then. We'll see. Yeah, so this will be my coconut. I have regular mushrooms. I've got shrimp, and I've got my can opener on the ground, and I've got veggie broth. Is that what I was saying? And onion and lime juice and chili garlic sauce and cilantro. Um, and I'm kind of just dawdling so that this shrimp will thaw enough for me to cook it. Luckily, they're like not super big shrimps, so they are coming pretty fast. We also do like with water, since that is a little faster. I'm trying to think what I've done. Actually, I've done some fun cooking lately. This weekend was my cat's birthday, and I had a birthday party for her. So I had like a dinner party, and that was a great time. I made tuna steaks. I made or I was like, okay, what's a good sort of late summer slash cat birthday menu? So I did like roasted summer veggies. I did like these like cheese herb stuffed flatbreads that were pretty good. I think I want to try making them again with a different mix of cheeses or like a different ratio. Because it calls for feta, but I don't like feta, so I did goat cheese instead. Um, and I think that it's like mozzarella and feta, but I did mozzarella goat cheese. And I think that it would be good to do like less goat cheese and maybe some like Parmesan in there as like a third cheese. I feel like that might be a nice balance. So I want to try doing those again. They were yummy. And then I did tuna steaks from Rick Stein Taste of the Sea cookbook, which has such a delightful cover that kind of matches my shirt. I feel like I was like getting back from my bike ride and like brushing my hair and stuff before I started this, and I was like, I feel like I always wear this not even just the shirt. I think I wear this outfit for like a lot of these. But such is life. Shrimps, are you good? You feel pretty odd. Those are these two that are still stuck together. Okay, I'm gonna run some water over them for a minute, and then I think we'll be good to actually get cooking here. Um, This should be good. The thing about thawing shrimp in a bag is that it sure does become full of shrimp juice. Um, I'm gonna kind of try and pour out here. Oh, but I'm gonna try to not pour all the shrimp into the sink. Uh, on account of I don't think that my sink is currently sort of the level of cleanliness that I would want to eat shrimp. So I'm gonna just like rinse super quick. So the colander, so just in their juices. And then I'm gonna figure out what I'm going to cook them in because this does not call for oil. Can't use oil. And I think probably just using butter will be fine, unless I have anything that would be more fitting I could use, but I don't think I do. So we'll go with, we'll just go with some, I'll do unsalted. In part because I think I just have a random little thing of chunk of unsalted butter. Indeed, I do. Probably like, where's my next step is missing? Well, maybe just like a little chunk. Yeah, big fan of Tom Kha Soup, one of the three grand soups, of which there are four. I'm a big fan of the three grand soups as well. Um, it's what are they? It's Tom Kha Soup and borscht, which I definitely agree with being on there. The four grand soups is like a list of soups considered the best ones. It's like a concept in Japan, according to Wikipedia. I'm a big fan of the three grand soups Wikipedia page specifically. Um, Tom Kha Soup, borscht, shark fin soup, and bouillabaisse. Um, a word that I don't know how to pronounce even a little bit, despite being from the American South. I am not from Louisiana, uh, and I don't know anything about French, nor do I intend to learn. Should we use the spider for these shrimps? I feel like yes. I feel like that makes sense so that I can kind of get them out once they're done in a sort of normal way. And while that melts, I will get to cutting this onion. Yeah. Um, and I think this is a very powerful onion because the other half of it, my friend was visiting this weekend and she was cutting this onion and like it was it was like onion tearsing up like the entire house. Um, I was like in the living room, which is through there, and I was like, "Are you cutting onions?" Because I am like my eyes are starting to stink, and she like looked up and was just like in tears. Um, but perhaps it having sat in the fridge for a couple days will sort of temper its temper, as it were. I feel like these are maybe a little bit large of slices. So I'll cut half, and that ought to do. And this is melted. So I'm gonna get shrimp in. Shrimp in ain't easy, as they say. Gonna kind of cook these bad boys, and feel like perhaps that was not enough butter, and throw some more in there. I'm interested to see how this will be with butter instead of like, I think usually I use just like a neutral oil. Um, who knows? Got my mushrooms pre-sliced, so don't need to chop those bad boys up. Tofu, I will just kind of continue to press until I need it. Yeah, the game plan is shrimp, onion, make the broth, add the tofu. There's a bunch of shrimp juice in here right now. It's kind of going on. So I may let well, I don't want to overcook them because they are going to cook more in the broth. So I may actually just do a quick, like, pour out some of this shrimp liquid. There's also a bunch of melted butter. Um, but oh well. And I kind of want to just like brown. They are looking cooked. I don't know if I'll be able to like kind of brown them a little bit. So I'll just give them a minute and then take them out. Oh, okay. Well, they're letting out more liquid, so I guess that's probably kind of just inevitable, and they probably will not brown, honestly, in this pot. So, oh well. Into the bowl with ye. I guess it'll be good though to have some shrimp juice in here uh, to be part to flavor the stuff that I'm about to cook in here. Okay, throw a little more butter in that bad boy. Let that melt. I guess we're just gonna stir with the spider the whole time, and then I'll have to get out what's it called? Um, a ladle to serve it. Onion. This is gonna be a sort of dense soup in terms of the quantity of the ratio of like fillings to broth. Um, I'm also just gonna kind of wing it with the like coconut milk to um veggie broth ratio. Also, hello. Yeah, I know butter's an interesting choice, but I'm not allowed to use oil. um, on account of the rules that I've set, but butter's allowed. That's fine. This is inherently a slightly interesting take on Tonka soup. Speaking of butter, I think they Probably there needs to be some more. These onions. I shall cut up this tofu and then plop that in the mushrooms in, make the broth, and then you kind of just let it simmer. Classic making a soup. Honestly, possibly I should have gotten like silken tofu for this, but I did not do that. I'm actually not totally sure which one is like typically used in like a tofu tomato soup. Uh, Mushrooms. What? What? Let's feel this with our hearts. I think it's a soup spoon. Oh, that's where my beautiful ice cream spoon went. It was on the wrong side. It was with the big spoon. Here we go. Here's a beautiful soup spoon. Okay. Big blob of chili garlic sauce. Big blob of coconut milk. And sort of an arbitrary amount of veggie broth. That's probably good. I will mix it up and see how it seems. Well, now, what's about the color that it normally is? I guess I'll let it simmer for like, I don't know, I'll probably let it simmer for like 15 minutes and I'll let it simmer for like 5 minutes, then have the shrimp, then do another 10. Uh, and that probably will be good. And I'm going to also try to top. Oh, I should add salt. I haven't done that yet. I'm kind of used to like recipes will be like um, use soy sauce as the salt for this type of thing, uh, which this does not. I'm like, I guess there's some salt in veggie bread, but not really enough to like season the stuff that's in it and the coconut milk. So let's see if that is a good milk. I mean, I do wish there was ginger, but tastes more or less right. Probably do need a little salt. I think when I add lime, that'll help too, even without the ginger. Yeah, pretty good. A little bit coconut heavy, but that's really that is kind of like one of the main flavors of the soup. So this is just a small little thing of butter. I'm just putting it in here. All right, boil. And while you do that, I will. Maybe I should have gotten some like bread or something to eat with this. Oh well. Orange juice, I still need you. You can go to the. You can be starting. Be boiling. Turn that down. Put you away. I wonder if there's any like random other stuff that I could throw in here. Let's see what I've got in my refrigerator. Nothing that's particularly speaking to me that would work other than my tube of squeezy ginger that I'm contractually prevented from using. I'm probably done with you, little spider. Gonna chop up some. I'm going to chop some cilantro. So I don't have anything else to. Oh, I've got a zucchini in there with no idea what to do with it because I needed two zucchinis and there were only packages of three. So not a great knife for doing major chopping, but also I feel like usually this is kind of a bigger pieces of cilantro kind of recipe. Okay. Let's see. I'll look through my Stardew recipes list and see what all I've got left to do, what all I should plan on making soon. Still have omelet to make. I want to do that with farmer's lunch, and I need parsnips for that, I think. I don't actually know if there's ever like parsnips at the farmer's market near me. Um, can't remember if I saw them during the spring. Uh, I think maybe I did, which is why I haven't just like gotten them from the grocery store. Um, so I'm thinking I'll make those together. Salad, I want to find, I want to like go get my own dandelion greens, partly because I don't know where I would buy those. I don't believe I've ever seen them at like a grocery store that I've been to, but that's leek dandelion vinegar. I think it'll be fun. Cheese cauliflower. I've like made something similar to a cheese cauliflower before that I didn't like that much, so I need to like think about what I want to do for that one and how I can make it something that I'll enjoy. Baked fish. Um, I want to go fishing for that one. A lot of the fish ones actually I have not done yet because I'm like, oh, I gotta go fishing, but I don't 100% know like when the season for like sunfish is, or when the season for like carp is, or bass. Even though I know those are definitely like things that I can go catch. Um, all right, shrimp time. And parsnip soup. Did vegetable medley. Did complete breakfast. Haven't done fried calamari. Um, I'm sure I can get like calamari, squid stuff to cook. Um, strange bun. I'm planning on doing that one along, maybe not like in the same stream, but like same week as fish stew because those call for periwinkle. And I was like looking it up when I was sort of designing this challenge, like where do you get periwinkle? And you can get them. I have no idea where or near me I could get them. Um, I don't know. Maybe if I'm like visiting my friend in the big city, I could like go to a fish market or something. Um, and get that. But my plan is to make it so that I to buy periwinkle one time. Uh, Lucky Lunch. That's the one I'm planning on making with. What I'm planning on making the tortilla for. Because I think I maybe mentioned this in another one. Maybe when I did like fish taco. Did I do fish tacos? Pretty sure I did. Um, yeah, I did. Uh, I feel like that's one where like even if I can't like really flatten out and make like a really thin tortilla, it'll still be fine. It'll just be like a little bit thicker. Um, and I have to figure out where I can get like allium flowers for the blue jazz. Fried mushrooms, that calls for morels. I'm gonna try and look for morels in the spring, but I have never found one before. I've also never gone like hardcore mushrooming for them. Um, but I have seen actually morels at one store. So if all else fails, I do have a way of getting those. Bean hot pot, I don't know what I'm doing for that one. Glazed yams, all of the yam ones, I don't know. I think there's maybe like two of them. I don't remember exactly how many recipes call for yams. I want to try doing two versions of. Probably it'll probably be like a one stream situation, but one where I do sweet potatoes and one where I do like yams. Because I feel like the Stardew Valley like image for yams looks more like a yam, less like a sweet potato yam. Uh, so I think that'll be fun to be like, is there a noticeable difference based on which root vegetable I use? Um, that also I feel like opens the possibility of be like using sweet potato if I make a yam recipe and determine no yams is what counts. Maybe then I could do sweet potatoes for like whatever as like a winter root, even though they don't really look like what winter roots look like in the game. Um, Tart Surprise. I don't really know what I'm doing for that one. I guess I'll probably do like kind of fry carp in butter, make some spinach, um, try and make that good. Crispy bass, that's when I want to catch the fish. Tonka soup, we're doing that right now. Trout soup. I don't know if I want to catch my own rainbow trout. Um, I do know where I can get rainbow trout. And if I wanted to go catch it, I would have to like get a rainbow trout stamp for my fishing license, which I don't currently have because I don't fish that much and I don't fish for rainbow trout. Um, but I don't know. Maybe it'd be worth it if someone wanted to like go up to the mountains with me and go trout fishing. Chocolate cake. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make a chocolate cake with no milk or oil. Um, I'm also gonna need. I want to get like I only have one size of cake tin, so I want to get like a smaller ones so that I can do the tiered thing. Made the pink cake. I'll have to go back and look at what I did. Oh, I just used watermelon juice instead of milk, right? Rhubarb pie. That'll be fun. I want to make rhubarb pie. Cookie. Um, I frankly will probably just make my usual chocolate chip cookie recipe. Spaghetti I was gonna do at some point recently, but something came up, I think. I don't remember. Um, and I didn't do that. But I'll do that at some point. Um, gotta make gotta make my own sauce, which will be fun, but kind of time consuming if I want to do it sort of well. And also I need to figure out the right, like maybe I should like stew the tomatoes and like peel them and like blend them up. I don't know. Um, I also need to figure out how to like make the pasta dough without egg or oil. 'Cause I was like looking up recipes for that, and it was all like it's flour and egg. That's how you make pasta dough. And I was like, no, I need it to not have that. I need it to be like flour and water. Um, eel, fried eel. I know how to get like teriyaki sushi type eel, which I think will be good for the spicy eel. Um, but for fried eel, I don't know. I'll probably see if I can find more like a plain thing. Um, sashimi. I can do that kind of whenever, honestly. I can get just like sushi grade tuna. Uh, maybe I'll probably do that along with the maki roll. Um, just because if I'm getting sushi fish anyway, um, can do that. Red plate, I already did. It was okay. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of difficult to like there's a lot of things that I like quite a lot that have cabbage in them, but I feel like just cabbage. Oh, can I highlight this? I feel like just cabbage is kind of hard to like cook in a way where it goes with stuff. Um, eggplant parm, honestly, out of every recipe on here, I think is going to be the one that's like going to be worst to not be able to use oil. Because I've made eggplant parm before, and it uses a lot of oil. Um, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do for that one. I'm thinking probably like butter and like toast the breadcrumbs, and then like put instead of like frying the eggplant, I'll like put it in the toasted breadcrumbs that have been like cooked in butter, and then like bake it maybe, which feels like not really super in the spirit of it, but I think that's how I'm gonna be able to make it work. Rice pudding, looking forward to that one. I've been wanting to make rice pudding. Blueberry tart, that'll be fun. Autumn's Bounty, it's gonna be yam and roasted yam and pumpkin. Pumpkin soup will be interesting. I've made like I can't remember if I've talked about this on a stream before. There is a great manga that it has like a live action drama adaptation called She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat. Um, it is pretty much what it sounds like. It's about this lady who really likes to cook and her neighbor who really likes to eat. And the one who likes to cook, I am forgetting the characters' names. I'm a terrible feminist. Is always like, oh no, I cooked too much food. So then they strike up a friendship and a romance over the fact that it's a great mutually beneficial relationship. Um, it's very cute. And in the drama, I can't remember if they do this one in the manga, but in the show version, they make a pumpkin pudding where they make it in the pumpkin, and that was like my cooking slash dessert white whale for like months. Um, because I was like, that was really fun. I thought that would be really tasty. So I tried to make it, and it didn't turn out very well. Like it didn't set, and I was like, okay, I think I probably used too big of a pumpkin. So then I tried doing it with acorn squash, and it went a little better, but like it still didn't really set. It didn't work out well. And I think I did like another version. I'm trying to remember what I like tried differently, but I like tried it like three different times. It never turned out that good. I was like, this sucks. And I was like, maybe I'm just using the wrong kind of pumpkin because in the show they use like a kabocha pumpkin, kabocha squash. And I was like, I know I've seen those at the farmers market before, so like when I see them, I'll get one. I'll try it again. They had that at the farmers market. Tried it again. It came out way better than any of the other times. I do think it was like maybe not the most for me, but I felt very accomplished to like finally get one where like the pudding set, it had like a good amount of like pumpkin flavor to it. Um, it was like in the the pumpkin. I like cut that open. Um, I think the problem is that like plain roasted squash or pumpkin is like not super my thing, and so like the pudding was good, and it was like pumpkin spice flavored, but the rind was just like bland, and so I feel like if there was, I probably won't try and make it again unless like someone else develops the recipe and like makes it and is like this is what you want specifically, then I maybe would try it again. Um, but for now, I've defeated that white whale. Uh, but I feel like if there was a way to get the like the rinds to be seasoned, to maybe like have a little bit of like pumpkin spice mixed into it, and like I don't know, maybe the answer is like you really like get you do like a type of pumpkin that has like a really hard shell and like really scoop all of the flesh out and like blend it with seasoning and then like put it in and then put the pudding in the middle of that. Maybe would be a way to do it. That's like definitely getting further away from what they do in the show. Anyway, this is a tangent. My soup is done. I'm going to try it and then end the stream and go eat the rest of it and figure out what I'm going to do this evening. Probably. I just made a story graphs because I love to rate things that I read and look at and watch and stuff. And I had not done one for books yet. And one of my friends was talking about their story graph, and I was like, well, I've been thinking of making one of those. I guess it's time. The mushrooms could maybe use like a little bit longer, but I also kind of like the texture that they're in. I feel like probably what that means is just when I have leftovers that I have to reheat, I'll be like, this is fine. The mushrooms are cooked a little further. Oh, just kidding, we're not done. I haven't added the lime juice. This is spicy. My roommate's probably not gonna eat any. I'm just putting my bowl back in the big pot. Lime juice. That's maybe kind of a lot of lime juice, but whatever. Gotta use up this bottle because there's like barely any left, and I need to get a new huge bottle of lime juice. I'm sorry. Okay. I just got a new huge bottle of lemon juice. Okay, take two. Lime version. And cilantro. Um, Here I'll do my little put the put the camera way down so that I can actually look into a bowl, and then put it too far up so that you can see that my computer is just fully in my pantry. Okay, it's very hot, somehow hotter than 2 seconds ago. Or that's probably because I mixed it up and got all of the like hot bottom broth up at the top. Oh, here we go. Here's a bite that's got all of the Stardew required ingredients, i.e., shrimp and mushroom. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a good soup, even without the ginger. Um, Something that I have made before and will make again. Last time I tried to do a shrimp Tonka soup, I accidentally got pre-cooked shrimp and I didn't realize it. So the shrimp was like horribly overcooked by the time I like cooked it and then took it out and then put it in the soup again. And I've avoided that this time by correctly getting raw shrimp. But that is the end of this cooking. Yippee. And I need to remember where on my scenes is the end. Bye.